So the part 8 of Koleoso season 2 fired up with a major fight between Koleoso, his father, and some very powerful individual. And Koleoso and his father were trying to save their family members. And this was not an easy feat at all. But after much struggle, with the help of Koleoso's son, they were able to find a way. And even though the two women in the family were rescued, they refused to talk and refused to eat. They were tired of being used as experiments for Koleoso and their father's constant showcase of power and strength. And from there, Baba Agba noticed two evil spirits fighting and immediately rushed outside. And that was when they discovered that Oshowande, the son of Koleoso, was the one who fought two evil spirits and sent them back to the sender. The evil spirit then returned to Oracle and Baba Iroko, the man who gave Oracle powers. And because of that, they were forced to run outside the house. It was at that point that Baba Iroko told Oracle that the Osho family was truly powerful and they needed to be very careful. The scene then moved to Oracle, who was also with the father who gives him strength, only for them to be confronted again by these two negative evil spirits. Then the story moves on to a scene with Koleoso and his friends having a discussion. One of them complained about how Koleoso was not present to visit their friend Ojo, who was currently sick. And Koleoso responded by saying he was the one who gave Ojo the antidote that is currently making him feel better. And so why are you telling me to come and visit even after giving you the antidote that will actually make you feel fine? From there, Koleoso's son walked into the scene and did not greet anyone. And one of the friends who has a loose mouth complained about it, that this your son is not being respectful. And because of that, that resulted to Koleoso beating the friend and also the friend who said nothing about the issue. And he dealt with the both of them there. Later, Koleoso went to meet with his son Oshowande and told him that he actually wants him to start going to school. Oshowande was adamant and refused, claiming that his father already is aware of the level of knowledge that he possesses. Because of this, Koleoso had to call a family meeting to discuss Oshowande going to school. However, the meeting later turned into a fighting and funny scene as Efun, the only educated lady in the house, began to explain why it made sense for someone to be educated. And because of that, it looked like she was coming for everyone in the family. And because of that, they almost tore her apart, accusing her of showing off with the education that she had actually acquired. Telling her that, is it because of the school that you went to? That is it not because of English? But Oshowande later listened to Grandpa's plea and agreed to go to school. But Koleoso became bitter, even more bitter, that his son could not listen and respect him, and that he had to take his father to actually convince him before he could actually answer to the fact that he actually wants to go to school. And by the next day, Oshowande was taken to school. But Koleoso caused a serious problem and had to be sent out of the principal's office. In fact, the principal thought Koleoso was mentally unstable, and with the way he was behaving, anybody would have actually thought that he was actually mentally unstable. After the meeting with Oshowande, Efun, and the principal was finalized, they returned and found Koleoso playing recklessly on his swing, almost injuring himself. It became another issue entirely, and Koleoso had to be walked out of the school. The scene then moves on to Oracle and a family member discussing on how anybody who fights the Osho family would face serious trouble. Oracle explained how powerful he was, especially with someone backing him spiritually, and boldly stated that Osho's family was going down and the war had just begun. And this gave the lady a little bit of confidence that at least he has a brother that can actually stand up for her. One of Koleosho's sisters, Oshobola, the elderly one, runs and hookup centers that has so many sales girls, but sales has not been going on fine because she was not there to actually manage things. Most of the customers actually wanted to see her on ground to be able to to recommend the best of girls or the best of ladies to her. And because of her work, she was quite rich and she was actually okay. She was doing well for herself. But she is very, very greedy. She insisted on returning to Lagos to continue with her work because everything was dry where she was. She was just sleeping and waking up. There was nothing to actually do. But Koleoso wanted to be sure that everyone was safe. However, he was also interested in collecting money from her, which she actually reduced. And everybody in the family knows that Oshobola is actually very stingy. Anything that will involves her spending money, she will actually always argue it all the time, despite the fact that she's actually very rich. Another scene then shows Koleoso and Efun, where Efun brought a drink for Koleoso and claimed it was sent from Baba. Koleoso's son intervened and warned him not to drink it. Immediately, there was this dark energy filled in the air. Oshobola asked for one of the medicinal guard, but Koleoso's father refused to give it out. They then went outside and fought, and that was when they realized that Baba Oroko and Oracle was behind the attack. And that was when they transformed into their normal self and they knew that the real war has actually started. The two sisters later fell asleep because their bodies were being used spiritually, which even scared the friend of Efun and also scared the woke-up apprentice of Oshobola. But later now awakened back to life due to Koleoso's power, which he actually used to resurrect them, and they were awakened back to life. And that was when they actually discovered that they were being asleep for over a day. He instructed them to return back home, which they both did, and later held a meeting and discussed performing ritual. And that was when the grandpa told them that they actually needed some money to be able to purchase some of the equipment. Everybody was pointing at Oshobola to actually be the one to come into the family to rescue the family. But because of her greedy nature, she said no, she's not coming to help anybody. That I don't have money, that you actually want to dry me of all my fundings, that every time you guys are asking for money, and it was a bit of a big deal in which everybody was fighting each other in the house just because Oshobola refused to actually want to give out her money. But after a while, she actually decided to actually help just because of Koleoso's son, saying that he would do anything for the son. And if it's not for the son, she was not going to be responsible for that. Then Koleoso then had another meeting with his sisters where they discussed that the younger sister, who was actually educated out of the family, needs to write an epic biography about them and post it on social media so that whenever they die, people will remember them, because in the real fact, they were legendary in the making and their history was not supposed to just go like that. And so they discussed about that, and while they were discussing, Ojo, who is Koleoso's friend, appeared and he said he came to thank Koleoso for helping him. And Koleoso initially responded irritably, but later forgave him, because it was like, I thought I was told that you actually wanted me to appear after even helping you to give you the antidote that will actually make you fine. You are still coming out to actually say trash about me. But he later forgave him after making it known that he didn't mean that, he didn't say that was not his intention. The scene then moves to Okuta and some gang members who previously had an encounter with Koleoso, and Koleoso showed them Shege Bansa. He showed them Shege Bansa, and from there Okuta injured his face and tried to convince the other to join him again to fight Koleoso. And one by one, they all abandoned him, saying although they know he had suffered, but they will not want to be risking their life for Koleoso, and that Koleoso does not look like a normal human being to them with everything that they have gone through. And as they were leaving, Oracle transformed into another human being, seized one of the guy's phones and ran away with it. And because of that, they chased him, including Okuta. And when they reached a certain point, Oracle stopped and transformed into his normal self and told them that they all had a common enemy, and that was Koleoso, and that they needed to work together. The next scene then shows the house being fortified and they themselves being spiritually fortified against all evils, and including all attacks from madmen that were chasing them, and all of these things that was actually going on, the negative evil effect that was going on in the house. Moving on, Koleoso's son went to school and became the most brilliant in class, even after being absent for 4 weeks. When he was asked a question, he impressed everyone and became the most superstar, the star boy in class, that even the teacher had to invite him to the staff room, claiming that no, this your intellect is quite not the ordinary. The scene then moves to Koleoso visiting his supposed girlfriend, who was always scared of him. He met her with his friend, and Koleoso jokingly said that he was going to deal with the friend, meaning that he actually wants to knock the friend. And after their discussion, Koleoso mysteriously disappeared, leaving the friend behind. And that was when the friend actually made it known that he actually needs to visit the mountains to pray about Koleoso, meaning that they actually want to actually put Koleoso's prayers into the hands of God, because this lady has been tied down and is being promised that she should not break the covenant that they both had together. And the lady is scared of Koleoso and what he actually represents, the fact that he can actually disappear at will. It was that crazy. So the story then moves on to where Koleoso's sons meet a young girl named Tina. Tina was being harassed by these two boys who were about to beat her when he actually came into the scene. And at that moment, Koleoso's son stepped in to help her. He spoke some word, and immediately these two boys started attacking each other. They fought each other to the very bone. They fought each other to the very bone, and there was no one to separate them. They turned against themselves until nobody was even there to stop them. After the incident, Koleoso's son and Tina became close friends, and they got to know more about each other. One day, Tina invited him to her house. And before going, Koleoso's sons informed his father that he actually wants to go somewhere and he actually needs him to follow him. When they arrived at Tina's house, Tina's father came out. And as Tina's father was coming out, it was revealed that Oracle was the father of Tina. At this point, Koleoso and Oracle came face to face again. Everybody knows that Koleoso and Oracle are sworn enemies that have actually met with each other several times and have actually showcased themselves, showcasing their powers, and most of the time Koleoso has always won. Despite this, they greeted each other and shook each other's hands. And as they shook each other's hand, a strong spiritual tension filled the air. The power flowed between their arms together, from their arm down to their hands. There was this showcase of power and strength. The two of them shaking each other for a very long time, and that was how the scene ended. To be very honest, you need to go and check out this movie. You see, me saying it like this, there are so many things that I didn't say in this movie, and to be very honest, I see the reason why this movie has millions of views. This movie, no. You need to go and check it out if you have not seen it. The way I'm saying it, you might not really enjoy it, but if you go and check it out yourself, you will understand what I'm talking about. I really respect the setsman of this work, and to be very honest, we want to be seeing works like this. These are kind of films that we actually want to be seeing from season 1 to season 2 to episode 8. We are enjoying this, and we are just expecting that you quickly just produce more, to be very honest with you. So let me know what you think about Koleoso. For those that have actually seen the movie and are actually coming across this again, what do you actually think? Who is your favorite in this series? Who is your favorite? To be very honest, that's still Koleoso for me, because I just like the way he actually behaves. Then we cannot go to probably Koleoso's son, and this particular woman, Oshobola, yes, Oshobola too is part of those that I love. In fact, I love every one of them, but I think Koleoso is still my best and my favorite. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Who is your favorite in this series, and what do you actually have? What message do you actually have to pass to the set man of this show? Because he's actually doing well, to be very honest. His acting is top notch, and everything about him is just lovable. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. And when do you actually think they should release the next season? See you in the next. Love you guys.